Hello, everyone. Welcome to launch week.
It's finally here.
It's finally here, day one. Let's go. How are you feeling, Andre?
I am very excited. I know what we're doing, but I'm still
You're,
excited.
s- you're still excited. That's good. That's a good sign. Hopefully, everyone can hear us on YouTube. Let us know in the comments, ask your questions in the comments, and yeah, post all your feedback as we go through, and we can bring in your questions to the stream so everyone can see what you're talking about. We have a lot of fun stuff planned this week. So we're doing a live stream today to kick off. And then we have 5 consecutive days of featured launches. And then we're wrapping up on Friday with another live stream, the grand finale. So a lot to get through, a lot of exciting features. But let's start with a little recap, actually. So we launched Leap about 3 months ago now, at the start of summer, and we've been blown away with the response and everything you've all been building with it. And we just realized that just a couple of days ago, we passed 50,000 apps have been built using Leap, which is an amazing stat.
It's pretty incredible. I think especially since you're not limited to simple prototypes or websites, it's actual applications that are adding value to people's lives, and companies are improving their workflows. And we know a bunch of startups that have been founded on top of Leap, which is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's moving so quickly, and seeing all of that happen is really exciting. And obviously, it's something we're doing together with all of you, and like your feedback and your suggestions for how to make Leap better is something we really value. So please keep that coming. You can join our Discord channel, leap.news/discord, and yeah, enjoy the fun conversations there, and let us know what you need. And these 50,000 apps, we estimate they've saved over $100 million in development costs. But this is like all of your projects would have cost more than 100 million to build had it not been for using Leap. So that's like a huge enabler for these new applications being created. Obviously, 100 million is a lot of money. I don't think these startups would have had access to that kind of funding yet, but hopefully they'll keep building and keep growing. So it's a huge stat, and it's going to keep evolving. And what's even more important is that everything being built is 100% owned by you. So the code is owned by you. When you deploy to your cloud using Docker Cloud integration, the infrastructure is owned by you. So you're not tied to Leap. Like, we want to make this something you can build on for the long term, and you get maintainable, ownable code. So yeah, congrats to everyone who's accomplishing so much already with the tool. It's been wild to watch. So are you feeling excited about today's launch, Under?
I am feeling excited. I think it's always fun with AI to do live demos, but that doesn't mean we're gonna shy away from that.
Exactly. So we're on day one now. 5 days of unlocks for Leap. Super exciting. Should we open day one? What's behind the door? So we have Leap 2.0 already, only 3 months after launch.
I mean, that's how we roll.
Yeah, moving quickly. So what actually is Leap 2.0? So it's uh, we calculated we've added 15 features to Leap with this launch, and that's a mix of huge sort of features available directly to the user and other features that are available to Leap's AI itself to help it do more things and build more things for you when you're using it. So we thought we'd stop it with the slides and just dig into a live demo if we can get that to work.
I think we should be able to. let me share my screen and we will see.
A comment in the meantime from the audience. Features for AI. Oh yeah, AI deserves features too. AI is also human. No, not yet. And we have Alexander commented. He's surprised more wasn't saved than 100 million. Full stack developing costs major cheese, even with AI. Yeah, that's true. Maybe we were too conservative. Let's call it 1 billion.
Exactly. All right. So let's jump in. I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna take a look at Leap 2.0. Can we
Here
see
we go.
the screen?
I can see it.
So for those of you who were expecting everything looks different, that's not what we mean. A lot of the work that goes into Leap is it's in terms of just making it even better, much more capable of handling larger applications, better at debugging, better at finding and fixing issues, just better at understanding the software you build and helping you move even faster, using fewer credits and so on and so on. So it's not hopefully you still feel familiar with the interface. For those who don't know, if you have been using Leap for some time, we have a light mode. So if that's why it looks different, that's why. But what we're looking at here is a very simple application. And it is, if we take a look at the architecture diagram, we currently have one service here. And on the service catalog, we have we can see the endpoints that exist. So what is this thing? Well, it's a sort of HR application to help you get customer support and sort of HR support when you're working at some company, for example. And so you can ask, hey, how come I can't see my payslip? And you can see the AI will be thinking and coming up with a response. You can get sort of, and this is powered by AI under the hood. It's using OpenAI. And this is all well and good, but if you go in here, you refresh, everything I just did is gone. So obviously with Leap, it's very fast and easy to improve on this and to actually iterate on the project. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, actually, let's implement conversation history and hit start. So now we can see what's really behind Leap 2.0, which is that Leap 2.0 will break down your prompt, decide on, okay, what's actually needed to do this. It will sort of break it down into smaller tasks and execute on them. And it will figure out exactly what do we need to do to implement this. And under the hood, this is powered by, as of today, it's powered by Sonnet 4.5, which is the state-of-the-art model for code generation by Anthropic. And we've been working over the last couple of weeks to just make this fully integrated into Leap. It's powering everything that the agent does. We've added a bunch of new tools so that the agent can really work even better than before. And I think it really shows when you get into like, okay, how quickly is it actually moving? How quickly is it implementing this? And what we've seen time and time again when we've been working on this is just how much better it is at sort of finding and fixing and improving on the right part of the code base without making a bunch of errors that's causing you to constantly have to fix with Leap or attempt to fix it and so on. So as you're working with Leap 2.0, you will really feel the difference, even though the interface looks very similar. So here we can see that it's now implemented this feature, and let's see if it actually works once we refresh. No, it's not working. So now we can see that, actually, we actually need to get it to implement the front end side of this too, and not just the back end. So that's one thing with Leap 2.0 is we've tried to make it so it doesn't make a lot of sort of redundant changes. And that means that sometimes you actually have to, take another prompt to actually go through and actually implement this.
So does that mean that for people used to working with Leap, they should now be taking more care to be explicit about exactly which changes they would like to see?
Yeah, I mean, we have done two things. Like, one part is we worked a lot on the prompting to make sure that it's actually working correctly in terms of like, okay, how is this using Claude Sonnet 4.5? We've also included now the scope context is even better in agent mode, where it will also allow you to really help it sort of make sense of like exactly what it should load into context is even better than before. So before agent mode, the scoping was essentially a way to reduce context by just loading in a subset, whereas now it's actually used to include additional context. So it's sort of the opposite. And that means that that's very helpful if you want to focus on a specific part of the code base. Once you scope it to include certain files, those files will be immediately loaded into the context. So it's absolutely better at focusing on specific areas if you wanted to. Another thing that we worked a lot on with Leap 2.0 is the ability to improve the sort of error handling of the agent, so that when the agent or when the LLM provider is overloaded, it will not lose your changes. It will just allow you to keep going without having to sort of start over. And that means that, especially when new models come out or when a lot of people are using Leap at the same time, you're not like wasting time having to redo work that you have already done. So now we can see it's actually loading the chat history. It just needs to actually it loads after a second of doing this, and that's basically a matter of like, oh, actually, you just point out like, hey, this needs to be done, but I immediately see the issue. Let me fix that, and then it's working as intended. So this is something that you really feel once you're really using Leap 2.0, that it's just better at fixing issues. It's better at finding the right place to fix the code, and it's just better at understanding what you want in general.
Yeah, hopefully you all noticed that as you start using it now. We have a question from Alexander. So speaking of prompting, I've noticed that using Leap, you need to be very specific, otherwise it gets creative and does things you were not intending. Has the prompt intent been improved?
I would say so. I think part of this comes down to Sonnet 4.5 being better at sort of sticking to what you ask of it. We have also done improvements on our side to every time there is a new LLM model, you have to work with the model and sort of update the prompting to work with that model. So we've done a lot of that. but we've also done work behind the scenes so that the agent now has access to more tools to be able to figure out, like, okay, well, which part of the code base is actually relevant to do this. We also have ways where, um, for example, you can say, check the list knowledge endpoint. So another way that Leap 2.0 works is it can actually make API calls, and it can see, like, okay, well, actually, now this endpoint requires authentication, but in general, it can make API calls in a way that allows you to really easily sort of debug issues. And that also comes back to, like, okay, well, what we have seen a lot of is when the agent can't figure out why something is broken, it tends to get increasingly creative about, like, oh, maybe we need to fix this other part of the code base. And so by providing more tools at its disposal, it can actually work much more effectively.
Yeah. And we've added quite a few tools. So calling endpoints is one, looking up and fetching docs and things from the internet is another. Looking at traces is another one, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more going on in terms of um, the overall sort of capabilities available to the agent. So it's everything from tracing to being able to read documentation, generating images, searching for images, asking clarifying questions from the user. A lot of these things that really help the agent sort of achieve what you want out of the prompt, without going off and doing something that you did not request.
Yeah, and we've seen really good test results so far. So please try it out. Please keep reporting your issues, and we'll make it better and better every single day. But it's definitely a big upgrade from the previous version. And we have a request from the audience to start using dark mode. I think that might be better for the stream. Contrast might be better. Let's do that.
There we go.
Fantastic. We have a question again from Alexander. Will there be a way to converse with the AI about the project without implementing any changes, just to get ideas or explore recommended tech stacks?
Yeah, I mean, that's already the case. I think you will definitely be able to, you can just ask it, and it won't make any changes to your code base. It will just, get back to you very quickly. This will use pretty much no tokens whatsoever. So you can absolutely have conversations. You can ask it to sort of, um, review the backend code base and suggest quality improvements. And they will sort of, okay, I'm gonna check out the backend, I'm gonna read the files, and then it will come up with suggestions on how to improve that. So absolutely.
That's great. Yeah, you can see it here. Providing a list of critical issues. That's good. Opportunity to improve. And speaking of using fewer credits or tokens, we think this new version of Leap is actually a lot more efficient, specifically when you have larger applications. So before, when you had a larger app, it used more and more credits for each change you made. But with this, that's no longer true, right?
Yeah, so that's one of the big changes in Leap 2.0 is we have spent a lot of time on, like, okay, how do we effectively use context? How do we optimize the context window? How do we only load things that are relevant? And that's really where it makes a huge difference for larger projects. Once you're starting building a new application with Leap, you won't see a big difference, but the sort of more featureful it becomes, the larger the code base, the better and more effective the new Leap 2.0 build will be compared to Leap 1.0.
Yeah, so that should make a big difference for everyone building as your project grows.
We've
All
seen
right.
for some of the largest projects, we've seen up to like a 90% difference, which means that you can actually spend your credits towards getting much farther, building new features much faster than ever before.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And are there any other features we should demo? We mentioned image generation before.
Oh, yes. How about we add a beautiful, generate a beautiful uh, for the logo in the top left of
Robot, HR bot. So how does this work?
so under the hood. This is powered by Google's new Nano Banana. So now you can see actually that this is one of the it can be frustrating, but it's really designed for to sort of not go crazy and sort of do things that you didn't expect. In this case, I was very explicit about what I wanted, which was to generate an image. But that means that it generated an image and then said, okay, well, I'm done. If I had said, change this to a new image, it would have actually updated this, but I was very explicit about generating the image. So now it has generated an image and it has stored it in the code base, but it's not actually updated this. So this is powered by Google's new Nano Banana model, which is the state-of-the-art image generation model that is extremely good at sort of understanding your intention and being very creative. And now, one thing that I would say when I look at this is like, okay, well, it's not super good because it's quite cramped in a small space. So I might say, if I go to the image, I can actually ask for changes right here, and I can say, make this better at small scales. And then this will now actually make an edit of the existing image. So it will sort of generate a new image, but it will use the existing image as the baseline. So if I now go back here, once it rebuilds the application, okay, well, it didn't fully, this would have been better. It didn't fully do what I wanted it to do, but that's AI for you. Still, as you can see, it's understanding what I want and is sort of tweaking the design. But of course, sometimes you have to iterate a few times until it understands what you actually want. I can be clear like this, and hopefully we'll understand that better.
Yeah, and this can be used to ask for changes to any existing image that you add, right? So if you add an image yourself by uploading it, you can then use the model to change that image.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's almost like a Lego style graphic.
And then we can also use targeting. We can specify the image, make the image. And these things also help it sort of reduce credits by being much more specific about what area of the code base you want to modify.
Yeah, that's super handy. And we've added another, it's right now it's a bit hidden. We're probably going to add a knob for it, but there's a way to control how much reasoning Leap does, right? So you can use keywords when prompting it to get different behaviors out of it.
Yes. We're gonna, it will maybe show up at a later date during launch week, but if you want to do something very tricky or you're debugging an issue, you could say, you know, figure out why the knowledge base is so empty. I'm just making, you can say, think very hard. And this will be a keyword to actually spend a lot of time thinking before it starts actually doing the work. And this is sort of a hint to it. Actually, I need to spend a lot of time thinking. And now I'm just making up a question, but this is very helpful if you're working on a bug that is tricky to find. And here you can actually see, so something went wrong with the browser. We don't have time to debug that right now, but you can see that this is another part of Leap 2.0 where, okay, so it had an internal error. You can say, okay, skip the browser, but keep going. Well, there you go. I guess we still need to fix the browser. But at least in this way, I think this is happening because it's actually trying to load this and Anthropic's API is not handling it correctly. But in general, this is something where when you get errors from the LLM, you can actually just keep going without having to start over.
I think
In
it's
this
probably
case,
because Anthropic know we're having a live demo, so they're messing with us.
yeah, that's the problem with live demos in general. But you can see here how the agent works in general. When it's debugging something in the front end, it will sometimes use a browser, and you can see really what it's doing here. But it navigates to the preview, and then it waits for it to load, and then it takes a screenshot, and then it uses the screenshot to sort of keep iterating. And this is the part where it failed because you can see in the issue here that it's not correctly handling the image as a data source, which it should, but it's an issue with the Anthropic API. So we'll get that sorted.
So what are the keywords you can use then to control its reasoning?
So we have think, we have think hard, we have think very hard, and we have ultra think for the most sophisticated level of thinking.
So when should you use what?
So basically what this is when the LLM works, it can do some thinking, and the thinking is really a way for it to sort of reason about different ways of solving the problem. And so the more each one of these means that it's spending more time and more credits on the thinking part. And so most of the time you don't need to include any thinking whatsoever. But sometimes if you're dealing with something that's more complex, or maybe you try to get it to fix a bug, but the bug isn't, it can't figure out why the bug is happening. It can be helpful to incorporate more thinking. And I think a good starting point is somewhere like on the lower side of things. And these higher thinking ones are reserved if it's like a very difficult problem. So it's not, as with all sort of AI, there are no guarantees that it can fix any particular bug. Sometimes it will still get stuck, but this is at least gives you more optionality to get more assistance from the LLM before it just starts trying to fix the problem. Sometimes it's better to spend some time thinking about possible ways of fixing the problem.
Yeah, I think there's an Einstein quote in there somewhere.
Exactly.
All right. Are there any other features we should demo?
Um,
I think we've
I'm
covered
trying to
most
think.
of the new ones, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So to recap, we're using Claude 4.5. The new agent mode has loads of new tools. So full web access, it can browse docs, it can browse your app, it can call APIs in your app to help with debugging. You can generate images. It does a lot more error detection and fixing of your app. You can control the reasoning it does, and just overall loads and loads of improvements to the AI, and a huge cost optimization for large projects, and the fact that it handles much larger projects. So you can now really go crazy and build bigger apps.
Yeah, you can even get it to sort of modify things in the database if you want to.
Ooh, I didn't even know that. That's cool. All right, so this is live now. It's out, so you can all start playing with it. And as always, we want to have hear all your feedback and your questions. So jump on Discord, leap.new Discord, and let us know, and we'll keep making it better every single day. And shall we jump back to the presentation and just see where we're at? So this was day one, Leap 2.0. It's finally here, and we still have 4 more days of awesome launches. And yeah, we're gonna do our best to knock it out of the park and give you 4 more amazing features, or even more. So stay tuned. Check the website. We're gonna drop a new feature every single day. So leap.new/launch week. And that's where you'll find all the information. And then on Friday, we're back here on YouTube with a wrap-up live stream where you can see the day 5 release and get a recap of everything we've launched in between. And for those of you that are on Twitter, if you follow us and you help support our daily launches there, you can get some free credits as a thank you and as a reward to progress your building. So launch week, 4 more days to go. Super exciting.
Yeah, I'm just getting started.
Just getting started. But yeah, you know what to do. Check out Leap 2.0, check out the new agent, and then get building. We'll see you back here on Friday. Thanks
Yep.
everyone for joining. It's been a blast, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. Thank you.